You've probably noticed it everywhere you look. Someone is starting a new AI company. Feeds are filled with headlines about record funding rounds, billion-dollar valuations, and promises that this next app or tool will change the world. But here's the question nobody wants to ask out loud. Are AI startups building a future? Or are we watching another bubble inflate, one that might eventually pop? Let's dig into this carefully because bubbles aren't new. We've seen them before. The dot-com era in the late 90s had websites with almost no revenue being valued higher than traditional businesses. Later, the crypto boom saw coins and projects attracting billions, only to disappear months later. So when people call today's AI wave the next gold rush, it's worth pausing to think, is it hype? Or is there real long-term value being created? First, the speed of growth is staggering. Investors are throwing money at AI startups faster than at almost any other sector. Some companies with just a handful of employees and no solid product are getting millions in seed funding. Others are being valued at billions without proving that they can actually make money. This mismatch between valuation and revenue is one of the classic signs of a bubble. Second, the number of Me Too startups is exploding. Every day, new AI tools pop up that do almost the same thing, whether it's generating text, making images, or summarizing documents. When everyone is chasing the same idea, competition skyrockets, and many of those companies won't survive. That's not sustainable. But here's the flip side. Unlike the dot-com crash, AI already has clear practical uses. Businesses are saving real money with automation. Freelancers are using AI to handle repetitive work from writing drafts to creating quick designs. Companies are adopting AI tools to analyze data and make decisions faster. In other words, while valuations may be inflated, the underlying technology isn't smoke and mirrors, it's genuinely useful. Think of it like the early internet. Yes, lots of dot-com companies failed, but the internet itself didn't vanish. The strongest players survived and shaped the digital world we live in today. AI might follow the same path. A wave of overhyped startups will collapse, but the real innovators will remain and transform industries. If we look at history, bubbles aren't entirely bad. They often accelerate innovation. When money floods into a sector, it funds experimentation. Most of those experiments fail, but a few succeed and change everything. That's exactly what happened with the internet. The bubble popped, but companies like Amazon and Google came out stronger. So even if today's AI startup frenzy ends with a crash, the survivors could become tomorrow's giants. Still, there are risks. For startup founders, the pressure to grow fast and secure funding can push them to make big promises they can't keep. Investors, on the other hand, may not fully understand the tech, they just don't want to miss out on the next big thing. When expectations are unrealistic, disappointment is almost guaranteed. There's also the risk of regulation. Governments around the world are starting to pay closer attention to AI. If stricter rules come in suddenly, some startups may struggle to adapt, especially smaller ones with limited resources. Now let's zoom out. What does all this mean for the rest of us freelancers, small business owners, or even people curious about AI tools? Honestly, it means opportunity, but also noise. Many tools you see today might not exist in a year. That's the nature of a crowded market. But the good ones, the ones that genuinely help people save time or earn more, will stick around. For freelancers in 2025, this actually works in your favor. You don't need to bet on which startup becomes the next OpenAI or Anthropic. Instead, you just pick tools that make your work easier today. If one disappears tomorrow, you move to another. The value is in how you use AI, not in which company provides it. So, are AI startups just a bubble waiting to burst? The honest answer is partly yes and partly no. The hype, the wild valuations, and the flood of copy-paste startups, that definitely looks like a bubble. Some of it will burst, but the technology itself is real, and it's here to stay. What matters most isn't whether 1,000 AI startups vanish tomorrow, but how the best ones reshape the way we work and live. If history is any guide, We're going to see both chaos and progress, and somewhere in between, a few companies will rise above the noise and become the foundation of the next era.